Yeah,
Lungs-
cool.
Guys, I've been
Lungs
playing
and
D&D with my friends from high school. That shit is wild, D&D.
D&D.
Yeah, there's like a whole book that's like, here's the entire world of D&D. And my dungeon master has to memorize essentially that whole book. And like, we'll just be like, all right, we talked to this random guy on the street. And he's like, okay, that random guy's on the street's name is this. And he like looks it up in the book and he's like, here's every fucking characteristic about that random guy on the street. And it's like, this book is huge. Like, the world is like massive. And every single fucking guy in it has like a 6-page backstory in this book. It's insanity.
How do they
game
know?
move pretty quick?
What?
Does the game move pretty quick?
No, it moves at a fucking snail's pace. So like, okay, so like this is like, we're playing. We've explored one town a little bit, and there's like 800 locations. And our dungeon master's like, see you next week. It's like, we're not gonna ever finish this shit.
Really? How? So wait, you play the same game every time? You don't
Yeah,
like
I
start
would
a
say
new game?
we play the same. We continue the story where we left off, and like my dungeon master will like end on like cliffhangers. Like it's this fucking miraculous storytelling adventure. But then we come in, so he writes this great story full of like extremely complete characters, and then we just come in and we're the main characters and we're the least developed because we have to play them. You know, so we just come in and all these characters with complex backstories, and we're just like, all right, I take my axe and I slice his head off because I'm bored.
Well, you're creating your own story.
We are.
What if the apocalypse is that we are just characters in a Dungeons and Dragons game, and then our dungeon master gets bored?
Yeah, and so he just
narrating
decides
for
to
us.
like murder us all.
Sounds
or
like a
he just
depressing
stops
thought
existing.
about God.
He just like gets up from the table and he gets a job.
Is the dungeon master like supposed to be God?
No, the dungeon master is, well, I guess.
Kind
He
of.
decides the outcomes of everything.
Yeah.
But does he decide or does he impartially designate?
guess he
It depends if he's a benevolent dungeon master.
Yeah, technically he doesn't decide. He like rolls a dice and then the dice decides, but he interprets the dice. So maybe he's like a priest. He's like an envoy to the Lord.
As somebody who has experienced personally playing Dungeons and Dragons, thinking about the way, say, being a doctor on TV shows, people say that that's misrepresented. Do you think that the way people play Dungeons and Dragons in pop culture is correct?
Yeah, dude, it's way different than the way movies and television. Movies and television are like everybody sitting around a table talking in like fantasy voices and being a doofbag and being a goofball and goofy times. But it's serious, dog. When the combat is going on, it's tactical, baby.
You sound like a real doofbag right now.
Let's say that to my wild spike growth spell.
Yeah.
Huzzah! I'm a
Are
druid.
there snacks? How many snacks are there?
Are there snacks? Do you mean in the game?
In the
Would
game.
you snack in the game? Can you
In
just
the
like
game,
chill
yeah.
and watch for a
Do you
little
have
while
to eat
in the game?
In the game, you can like relax at an inn or like whatever. But the dungeon master typically pushes you towards combat and
Adventure.
towards adventure. So like at one point we just kind of wanted to like hang out in this town for a while, but then he sent the giants to go attack it because we hadn't fought anybody in a long time.
Classic dungeon master.
Classic fucking dungeon master.
That's why everyone hates those guys.
Yeah. I was telling my dad about my dungeon master, and he got really confused because he thought maybe I was part of like a weird sex cult, which it is also, but that's not the main thing.
Is it during or before or after?
It depends upon how the session goes. Typically, it's after because we like slay the giant, and then I'm like, and my character has sex with a beer maiden, and then they're like,
Awesome. Dream come true for you.
Yeah. For
I'm
me,
impressed you can do
huge
that
dream.
given the cliffhangers.
Huh?
I'm
Well, the
impressed.
cliffhanger is like, did you come?
Did you?
Well, it depends what I roll. If I roll a 20, then I
If
just
you
go,
roll-
yeah.
Cum shot. Cream pie.
If I roll a 1, then I just fart and it smells bad.